Good evening, fellow mothers. Toyota Matt here. Tonight, we're going to be discussing hose bibs, fittings, barbs. Let's get the stage lighting set up somewhat. A little hard to zoom in on them. Blueberry Red Bulls, tonight's beverage. There's so many of them up there. But I've done some digging lately in the non-USA far away. And I've come up with some interesting JIS jazz. Let's start out with the sensor unions, since there's only two of them. That would be this character and this character. It might be good measure to notice everything that screws into the cylinder head, side of the cylinder head, or in some cases the manifold of the block, takes the same JIS fitting. Some people make the case that it's British Standard pipe. British Standard pipe is close, but JIS has more of a taper. So, don't mind my hoarse mouth. I'm recovering from COVID, but I really wanted to get a tech video out there. So, this guy you can still get from Japan. It's the short sensor union. They're beveled inside. The tall one for the 12 and 74F, I took it on Liberty. It's 90404 18127. This is my reproduction. I have them milled in batches of, I don't know, whatever floats the boat that week, 20, 30. And it's been a successful thing. I think it's catching on. Chrome plating is a bonus, but it is solid brass. This is steel. So you might notice this long guy. This is a new Toyota Genuine Parts button connector. I call it a button connector, but if you can see the TEQ logo there, she glistens. That screws in to the taut sensor, and this is the small sensor. This is used on the it's used on a lot of Land Cruiser engines, F2, F3F. And this has a spade tap. That screws into that. And it uses a beveled compression fitting. So, see if we could zoom in on that. Yeah, not bad. So, use my T10 professor's pointer. Up until 12 of 74 all the way back to FJ25, and then 1 of 75. This would be the 2F and the 3FE, as well as a 3F shorter sensor union. I'm not sure why they changed, but there's a boot kit, and this also applies to a thermo sensor, which is pretty cool. So, a few years ago, I found an intact sensor union boot. The color-coded tracer wire stripe is yellow with a green tracer stripe. It means temperature cooling system to the dash. So with a positive lock terminal, just like the starter, you hear that famous snap? Hear it? Snap. I found 2 of these boots, NOS. Now we have protection. I kind of adjust it there, but that's the general idea. And this was one of my first reproduction parts. Was this little boot? You can't use the boot on the button connector because I haven't found a way to take the spade terminal up, or the button connector up. It's sideways and it doesn't work. Don't know that there'll ever be a solution there. So till there is, that'll be the day. So let's set the sensor unions back here for a second. And I feel like we're missing a block drain. We are. Okay, so next, let's focus on our hose unit. Let's focus on our cylinder head deletes. They're kind of cool. Sorry for the camera back and forth. There we go. We have two cylinder head deletes. One's a hex head and one's a square head. Don't ask me why they have two. One comes pre-coated with the Toyota Loctite. You know, this is solid brass, so maybe that's why. But again, same thread pitch and diameter. JIS coarse thread. I believe it's a 25 millimeter. Don't quote me on that. So there's a couple of these available, but I like the one with the square head. It goes down deeper. It's kind of flush with the cylinder head, and it's a little bit more coolio. So what's next? I'm gonna save this for last. Okay, well, sorry for getting the arm there. So recent discovery, this sucker. This is no less than 8 inches tall. Screws in the cylinder head. Don't know what it's for. It doesn't have any application information. I found it through key punching. You know, it's not brass, it's steel, zinc coated. So that's an interesting character. Its little buddy here, which is about half the size. We'll say a little less. We'll say it's 3 inches. And then we have another straight one, which is a little bit shorter. So 8, 3, 3. We'll say this is 4, and this is like 3.5. Then we have some interesting characters. I don't know what this cat's for. I found a key punching one night, and I just simply had to have it. I figure you could cap off this one thing, or it could go to a turbo or oil cooler. Again, no application information on the part number. Kind of weird on Toyota's part. But this is a recent discovery. This I've had on the store for a while. I've had this on the store for a while. But this is new. You know, a 90-degree angle to be used, you know. Pretty cool. All these are in the same range. Just anodized bronze. I kind of like that. This is the zinc, and that's the zinc, all steel. Although, you know what? I never put a magnet to this. Maybe this one's brass. Who knows? I haven't checked that. But F, 2F, 3F, 3FE, you know, all that range. This is probably the oddity of it all. Don't really know what this is for. It screws into the cylinder head. You know, again, maybe it's a turbo feed or something. No application information, but same thread pitch. It screws in. We'll leave that up there. Okay. Well, let's go down here. Get this in the light, because this is really cool. Get this out of here. Okay. So you guys have probably seen this. This is factory. See, these skew the background. So I want this to be the star of the show. It's really cool. You gotta see what this is gonna cap. And so this is your typical FJ60, and you would have a 90 sticking out of here. I should have brought one up, but that's typically what you would have, the setup. Okay, well, Toyota Max Traditional, he's a purist, so I'm currently having these suckers made. This is a shut-off boiler valve. And look, folks, it screws in to the typical shut-off and then uses, you know, the hex nut to tighten it down. So let's see if we could, there we go, look at that, hands-free. T10 Professor's pointer. Now, let's try to do it this way. So what you would do is simply, there we go, you shut it off, and you shut your heat off. And you can turn it back on, summer, winter valve. No plumbing, no capping off of the hose, just a good boiler valve. This is made in Japan by a top secret Skunk Works connection. They make OEM fittings for various vehicles, but yeah, that's pretty cool, man. I'm pretty proud of that. And pretty darn special there. Like I said, about does it for the hose unit. All these are available in the store. If not, they sure will be. I didn't get to the block drains. Let me see if I have the other block drain I wanted to focus on. Okay, we have a few minutes to focus on block drains. Let's get all the other monkey business out of the way. So this is your traditional block drain, and you guys have seen this hole. It can be angled up, it can be angled down. No matter what, you get a face full of antifreeze and an armpit full of ethylene glycol. Well, found this cat in the non-USA Faraway. Same thread pitch and diameter. You remove this completely out of the block. Take a steel wire brush, a tubular one. Brass would be better, and you just twist it and clean the threads, you know, like that. And then screw this puppy in. Once this is set, angle this down. This is an 8mm fitting right here. Back to the T10 Professor's pointer. This is an 8mm fitting right here. You simply put a piece of hose on it, like that, going down to a 5-gallon bucket. It's that easy. And no coolant. These are I guess in non-USA you can't put antifreeze on the ground. So yeah, you put this right in your bucket, you drain, you power flush. You could even invert flush, push back into it. So it's great. And then it has a shut off. And this does come all the way out so you can ream it out and clean it. But I got one thing to say. Out with the old. Bad fitting. In with the new. It's a non-USA block drain now for me and you. And these are great. I mean, you know, they're cost efficient. And this is one of these things where it's simply the new thing. Wouldn't say it's a star of the show. I think my fitting is the star of the show. Anytime I reproduce something, it's supposed to get all the pom-pom mimi, but anyway, that's enough on block drains and fittings. Stay tuned to the next video. You might wonder what's going on here with the electrical connectors and whatnot. there is going to be a major electrical connector extravaganza from the promised land. So stay tuned for the next video. Tore them out over now.